getting ready to assemble this POWERGEAR hydraulic ram for the leveling system on one of my customers' RVs. So the kit to rebuild the ram doesn't come with any instructions. I was able to download instructions online and also a cross-section view of seal installation. So when these seals are put in, it's crucial the direction they're installed. So there's a lip here on the left side on this seal, and this is very, very important. If this is put in backwards, you'll definitely have a leak. So the way this works, if you look, there's a groove here, and the pressure, the hydraulic pressure, when it's pushed into this groove, this opening here, it pushes the seal outwards and causes this lip, which is now on the right side, to press against the wall of the cylinder. If you put the seal in backwards, the pressure will come and push this way and push this seal down and allow the pressure to slip past the seal. So again, installation of all the seals, all the different components. Here's another one. This one has a lip on it also. This is a wiper ring, and this is what keeps the dust and dirt from getting into the cylinder. So this wipes this wipes the piston down. As the piston retracts back into the cylinder, it wipes it clean. Couple of other things. The threads on the cylinder have to be spotless clean. You got to get all the Loctite out, and then the cylinder needs to be flushed and blown clean, and you need to inspect it, make sure there's no debris in there, because all it takes is one little piece of metal or a little rock or something, and when that hits this seal, it'll cut it, and then you'll have a leak again. Nice kit, because the rod guide, they give you a brand new rod guide. Instructions show installing the Zerk fitting or the grease fitting in the early stages, but after thinking this through, I would rather put the Zerk fitting in after everything's assembled. And the reason is, in order to get this back in, and even in the instructions it's recommended you can use a pipe wrench, which I have here. I've got this large aluminum pipe wrench. So when using a pipe wrench on this outer edge here, if you've got this Zerk fitting installed in this hole, which is here, this little Zerk fitting, and you hit it with that wrench, you're going to break it off. So my thought process is put all this together, all the seals, install it back into the cylinder, and then last step, put the Zerk fitting in to finalize the job. So anybody out there who has one of these that's leaking and you need assistance, or you would like to have me do it for you, you can always get in touch with me via email, and I'd be happy to assist. Or again, if you wanted to send it to me, I could rebuild it for you. So we've got the rod guide installed, all the seals, and this other guide is installed. It's required to put Loctite on the bolt and then torque it to 70 foot-pounds. So the grease I used on the piston is Mobil 1, my preference, Mobil 1 synthetic grease. So I applied a liberal coat of grease to all the seals internally. Now I did not put any grease on these O-rings, and the reason is I don't want to contaminate these threads here on the cylinder. They require Loctite also, and Loctite doesn't work if there's grease all over everything. So this has been wire brushed to remove the old Loctite, and what I've done, let me grab my little flashlight, is here at the bottom of the threads where the taper is, where the seal engages, I've put a coat of grease down at the bottom. So when the seal, when this O-ring seal engages the inside of the cylinder, there's lubricant there so it won't tear. So once I put the piston in and I thread in the The rod guide, I won't thread it in all the way. I'll thread it in partially and leave enough room to apply Loctite and then do the final torquing. So we're at final assembly now. So we've got the piston back in the cylinder. I've started threading in the rod guide, and now I'm going to apply my Loctite to the threads before I do the final, thread it in the final, and then it doesn't say torque the hell out of it. It just says tighten until it's snug. So the Loctite's going to hold it, tight, but you don't need to bear down on it with everything you've got. So that's next step. All right, we've got our hydraulic cylinder back together again. Everything went together smoothly, and as I mentioned before, I made the final step, put the Zerk in. Now I'm going to run the piston all the way inside the cylinder and give it a nice coat of paint. And that's it. It'll be ready for installation. For the final step, I taped off all the fittings and applied 2 coats of Rust-Oleum high gloss black paint.